Yeah.
Okay.
So, Ethel, what is your position?
The manager with the cultural center.
So, tell us what happened that week.
The week of the drum dance workshop,
Yeah.
well, we had probably around 70 participants coming from the ISR to participate in a regional drum dance workshop that IRC would like to see happen every couple of years. This past year we were able to do that, and we're hoping to do it every couple of years from this year. And the whole idea of the drum dance workshop was to revitalize, all the songs and dances, get it on video, get the songs and dances recorded, get them translated, and we wanted to get we'll try to get as much songs as we can from the ISR in all the languages, and I think we were able to get a good start. Hopefully in a couple of years we'll capture any songs or dances that were missed, but this is a start. The last one was 20 years ago.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
How did the idea come about? Like, the conversation of it, and like, did you know what happened 20 years ago? Like,
I was aware of the one that happened 20 years ago. I was living in Tuck when it happened. But how it came to be, of course, is from the last 42 director meeting. We talked about strategic planning, and one of the priorities put forward was to hold a regional drum dance workshop. And so we were able to secure funding in the last couple of years to make this happen, because it's fairly costly to host a drum dance workshop like the one we did. To a tune of about 260,000 to bring in the drummers and dancers from the region. And we're hoping that this is a regular thing every couple of years. We have the support from IRC to do it. And the outcome, of course, is the vision is to see us produce a drum dance booklet with all the songs and dance in it, recorded pictures. We'd like to have the audio portion of the drum dancing as a part of the booklet. We've heard a lot about this QR code that I'm still learning about. Young people like to use the QR code. A little bit ticklish of it, but it's not a bad thing. I think it's actually a really good tool. And if we learn how to use it, then we'll hopefully be able to move forward with it, giving access to all the young people and anybody interested in drum dancing to just take their phone or tablet or whatever, click on it, and there's the information. There's the information from the workshop. There's the pictures, there's the songs, there's the videos, there's the audio, and it gives our people the opportunity to learn the songs, to sing the songs, and understand what they're singing. And that was a big part of the drum dance workshop, was the translation part, and that's why Beverly played a huge role, along with the elders that we invited, the elder advisors that were there, to ensure that the translation portion of the drum dance workshop was taking place, and it did. So.
yeah. So I mean, I saw you run around all week. Before, like, there was a lot of planning that went into this, obviously.
Yeah.
So did you want to talk a little bit about like what was happening behind the scenes leading up to it? Like, what was the kind of work that it took to like put such a big event together?
I think securing the hall was amazingly easy, because that hall is always booked. We really wanted to have the grand finale at the school, but there was something going on at the school. It worked out at the end at the complex, but the behind the scenes things for us was more or less the travel and accommodations, and securing the selection of who was going to participate. So we left that up to the communities, of course. We didn't want to be the ones picking, but I think always the behind the scenes is like the travel, getting their accommodations in place, making sure that their per diems and everything are in place, feet on the ground, running around, bringing all our couches and our whiteboards and everything over to the complex so people could be comfortable. Like, we set up an elders corner in the drum dance workshop for the elders to sit comfortably on furniture, which was really a smart thing to do, because it allowed our elders to be there all day. None of them left early because they were tired of sitting or uncomfortable. And the other thing behind scenes was catering, for the workshop, getting someone to cater the event, and trying to make sure that we had like lots of good food for the participants throughout the week, lots of water, So Stanton played a huge role in that. Like they hauled cases of water because we went through a lot of water throughout the week. So for me, it wasn't a difficult thing to do. We had the support from IRC. We had the funding in place. They knew what we wanted to do, and we knew what we had to do because the direction comes from IRC. And at the end of the day, this year, going into this fiscal year, we're now in the, it's kind of back to work with the drum dance workshop. So now the work begins of putting the information together and kind of the layout of how the drum dance book might look with the material attached to it so that it's, the vision hopefully is to not only get it out to the community corporations and to our people, but we'd love to see this, this material used in the schools as a part of maybe gym for the children, as a part of Northern Studies for the younger people or the young youth that are in the grades 9 to 12, because I told like the IRC board, you know, it's so important that we make this happen because when we were in gym, they used to make us do the Mexican hat dance and all these crazy dances, and the kids are still doing it today. So we should be doing our drum dance songs and dances and teaching our kids all these wonderful things instead of teaching them some songs that they're never going to know or use and are in the future. So maybe if they go to Mexico, it might come in handy, but drum dancing in our region is just more meaningful and more powerful, and we're all about revitalizing our language, revitalizing our singing and dancing, and building pride within our Inuvialuit people, especially our young people. So we felt that during that week. We felt the power of everyone coming together, the respect, the humility, because, you know, some people were very passionate and we didn't want nobody to be offended. All in all, I think everyone worked together so well. I just think it happened so quickly and then it was over so quickly, and it was like, I wish we could have did it for another 5 days, but I mean, you know how it is when you bring people in. So we're really looking forward to the next one in the next couple of years. And I think the beauty of the whole situation with the drum dance workshop is we had support from you guys, from ICS coming on board, covering everything, like great coverage. We had support from IRC with Elizabeth there all week, taking pictures, you know, of everything, capturing everything. We had many supports throughout the community, and we had support from each community corp because we made sure when we put the call out that we went to all the community corp managers and chairs and the boards to make sure they're on board with what's going on. And we were hoping that we could get some board members come in and see what's going on. But like, this is the first of many, and hopefully, you know, when we do it the second time, maybe we do it the week of when they're having a board meeting, so all the chairs are in, and they get to come and pop in and take a look at what's going on. But yeah, it was a really fun project. Yeah.
I really appreciated the discussion forums. Could you just touch on a little bit of the learning and sharing?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone came together from different communities.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice to see. Maybe people had different interpretations of the songs, and they were able to see the differences, but also agree on a unifying version of the song.
Yeah.
Perform together.
You know, when we were covering each song, like we put it out on the whiteboard, and we talked to everybody, as you mentioned, and you're absolutely right. Like, there was, of course, some differences in each community, but at the end of the day, they realized the importance of the book and the legacy we're trying to leave behind. And they all came together and they agreed. Like, they disagreed on some things, but at the end of the day, they agreed on the song. They agreed on how it should be sang and how it was translated. And we reassured everybody there that we will be coming back for a round 2, and that's when we'll bring more songs in, and maybe, you know, if we look back at what we did and maybe they realize, okay, maybe it's not the way they wanted it to be, we can always, like, change it, you know, or correct it or improve it. I like to use the word improve because we like to compliment the work that was done and then just keep moving forward with whatever needs to still get done. Yeah.
What does it feel like to drum dance?
It's a really it just makes you feel so good, like you just whatever is going on throughout the day. You could be having a bad day. You could have lots of stuff going on at home or in the community or at work, whatever. And then when you start drum dancing and you start singing, it just takes it all away. It's like a natural healing. And so like that's why it's so important for the drum dancing to continue, because I believe it's an avenue of it's like traditional healing. You know, you just feel so good. All week people were happy. I never heard one complaint all week. People got along, people were respectful, and they just like danced their hearts out. So I just you asked that question. It feels many ways, but for me it's a safe place, and it's a place of where you just you don't care what anybody thinks. You just get up and you just do it, and you feel good. You feel good. Sometimes you don't even want to sit down. You just want to stand up there and wait for the next song and the next song, and you never get tired, you know? So,
Yeah, I was just gonna ask too, because like as an event organizer, you're also a drum dancer yourself.
Mhm.
So like that experience of like organizing something, but it's for something you're very passionate about and that you do. Like, did it make it a more special experience, like as an organizer, because you do drum dance?
it did. I felt honored to be able to host it, participate in it, look for funding for it. And I think that's why things went so well, is because I had an understanding of drum dancing and the songs, and also the sensitiveness of you know, how people feel about the songs and dances, and just doing things in a respectful way. So for me, I really felt like honored to do it, you know, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. Like it's not even a question. Yeah,
That's great. Well, there's round 2, right?
there is.
So what
Yeah.
can we look forward to?
I think, you know, in round 2, hopefully we have our book published by then. Like that's in 2 years, and we've given ourselves till March 31st this year to try to put the draft together of the work that we've already collected. And hopefully, you know, we'd be able to introduce the work that, so everybody who participate, that's their work, you know, and it's also their parents' work and their grandparents' work and whoever taught them how to sing and dance work, because they know what they know because someone taught them. So hopefully to introduce a book with all the information that was gathered, and you know, encourage young people or anybody interested for that matter. We started in our like 30s, you know, like when we first started, and my husband started in his like 40s because of our son, you know, wanted him to start going with his dad. So it's for any age, you know, we're revitalizing our culture, we're revitalizing our language, and there's no number attached to it. So we're hoping that when we do it the second time, we get more youth in the second round, and we just get all age groups in general, because we don't like to say it's for youth or it's for elders. We like it to be for everyone. So my vision, hopefully, in the second one is maybe it's a little bit bigger, a little bit more people, because we kind of know what to expect now. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much to look forward to.
And you're thinking in 2 years?
2 years. We're hoping to do it every 2 years.
Yeah.
Ideally, like from the direction of the IRC, we have another strategic planning meeting scheduled for October to talk about our work plan for the next, you know, 3 to 5 years. I'm sure the regional drum dance workshops will be in there, and we'll just take direction from the IRC board as to how regular they like to see it happen. It's all based on funding, of course, and now we know where we can find those funding pots. And how the funders, what they expect from us, because we have to do reporting at the end of the day. We're hoping to see this happen every couple of years.
And what kind of funding went into this workshop this year? Like was it multiple sources of funding? I know you were looking at a couple of places, right?
We did look at a few places, but a majority of the funding came from Canadian Heritage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they've been very, very good. So. And, you know, just working with IRC again, and having their support to do what we were able to do, just makes it so much easier. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Ethel.
Yeah, you were there all week. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't have to talk about it, but I love the story. You have like dang and dang dang. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to tell that story of like how Dang got involved? You know, he was saying he wanted to start going with his dad, like.
Yeah, so I used to drum dance in Tuck. That's where I first started with our children when they were younger, with our boys Daryl and Curtis and my girl Amber Joy. Dang Dang wasn't born yet, and when we had an accident and we lost our son, and then we just quit doing stuff. It was like devastating, and then we moved to Inuvik, and all of a sudden my son started going to drum dance practice. He was 8 years old and he loved it. So we'd bring them every week to Ingoma Hall because that's where they had practices, and anyone's welcome to go. The drum dance group is so great, like they just welcome anybody. And I can't remember how many times he went, and then I always would pick him up, and one day he was really happy when he came out, but he was kind of quiet, and I asked him what was wrong, and he said, "You know what, Mom, I really wish Dad would come with me. I wish you and Dad would come with me." And I said, "How come?" And he said, "Well, because I was going with him too, you know, but one day I never went with him, and he was there alone, and I guess it had an impact on him. And when I went to pick him up, he said, I know, like, you come with me." He said, "But I really would like Dad to come." And I asked him why, and he said, "Because I see lots of dads there with their kids, and they're doing the dad songs with them, like they're doing the man songs with them. And I really wish Dad would come with me because I want him to support me." So I talked to his dad about it, and then Dang started going and started learning to drum and learning the songs, and we've been with the group ever since. And Dang's not a dancer. He's not really, he just likes the drumming and the singing. And there's a lot of men that just like to drum and sing, and we respect them for that. There's a lot of men that like to drum, sing, and dance, and they're really, you know, that's their forte. But he just loves to drum and sing and be there for our family, and just more specifically for Dang Dang. And that was a really great thing for Dang to do for his son, because it inspired him to just stay with the group. You know, when young boys start becoming teenagers and they start kind of, you know, it's too cool to do this and that. We never even worried about it, you know. He just loved, by that time he got to be a teenager, he just loved drum dancing, and didn't matter if he was a teenager and it's not the cool thing to do. It actually was the cool thing to do, because he inspired a lot of other people to drum and dance, and a lot of young guys his age really looked to him because he stuck to it, and they could see the passion in him. So today he still is drumming and dancing, and you know, he's in his 20s now, but you know, hopefully, you know, someday when he has kids, he'll pass that on to his children. But you know, he really demonstrated the importance of parents being there for their kids too, and we see that within the group. We see the parents there with their kids, you know, even the single moms and the dads, we see them there with their kids, and it's so important. And that's the beauty of drum dancing. It becomes a family event too. You're a family at the end of the day. When we travel together as a group, we're a family. We all take care of each other. We all make sure everybody's okay. And it's like that with all drum dance groups. So, yeah.
I love that story. Yeah, that was what I wanted to ask. So if there's nothing else you want to talk about, I think
I don't think so.
that was great.
It's
Yeah.
nice to have had the distance of it being almost a year ago, so you can look back.
Mm-hmm.
Happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was great. Thank you, Ethel. Awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's
Thank
good.
you.
Looking forward to the next one.
Okay, cool.
Did you
Yeah.